This is going to be a short review for a short book, and I just wanted to talk to you about Jack of Shadows by Roger Zelazny. This is not one of his experimental novels like Creatures of Light and Darkness, but it reads a lot like one of his experimental novels. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that this is an Appendix N novel, and I have read at least one book from every author on Appendix N, but that doesn't mean that my journey is over. There's a lot of really good stuff on the Appendix N, and this is one of them that I just kind of skipped over because I had Lord of Light, so I read that. This is specifically listed in Appendix N as something to read. I'm really happy that I got a copy. It is science fantasy, and it takes place on a tidal-locked planet where the beings of darkness live on the dark side of the planet, and the beings of light live on the light side. So the light side is science-oriented, and the dark side of the planet is magic-oriented. It's like different magical fiefdoms. Each one is controlled by a lord. And then on the light side, it's just basically modern day. And you have Jack of Shadows, who is not a Lord of Darkness and is also not a member of the Light, but he is a Lord of Shadows. And the really interesting thing about him is he is a very powerful being, just like the Lords of the Darkness. But the Lords of the Darkness are only powerful in their own territory, while Jack, his powers are derived from shadows. A shadow crosses over someone's mouth as they're speaking his name. He can hear it anywhere. And basically, the premise of this story, I'm just going to talk about the first chapter because it sets up the entire story and it's not that big of a spoiler. Jack of Shadows, he's a rogue. He's a thief. He is a rogue a lot like Kugel the Clever or someone else from the Dying Earth. This is most certainly heavily influenced by Jack Vance. Zelazny himself said as much, that this was him kind of channeling his inner Jack Vance and writing something like he would have written it, which is just ticking all the boxes for me. It's like, boy, you talk about Jack Vance, Dying Earth, then written by Zelazny, one of my favorite writers. As soon as I picked up the book, I was like, well, I'm starting this right now. Let's just put everything off, and I'm just going to crush this book. And it was great. Jack is a thief. And in the very first chapter, two people notice he's at this event where there's going to be a contest for this relic. They rat him out instantly to the authorities. The authorities take him, and they're like, well, this is a problem. Jack's like, hey, this isn't a problem. I'm not going to steal this. They're like, but you came here to steal it. And he's like, I'm not going to steal it. I may have come here for it, but I can just walk away. We can settle this and we can leave. Well, they kill him. The way lives work with the Masters of the Darkness and Jack himself is they have more than one life. They come back, but coming back is not easy and it takes years. And so the rest of this story is a revenge story, and it's really cool. It gets to some really dark places. I mean, you have Zelazny writing a roguish, likable dude, and then you see what happens to him when he dedicates his life to a path of revenge. It has a really great ending, and I love the fact that the book is a standalone. Zelazny intentionally never wrote sequels. He's got like a short story that's like a prequel, but you don't have to have it to enjoy this book. It is one of those great Appendix N books that really shows off a lot of the inspiration for Dungeons and Dragons. And man, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I really hope some of you will check it out. If you liked this, go check out my other Appendix N reviews or some of my other book reviews. I'm going to get back into reviewing books more often. I haven't done it in a while, and I don't like that. I want this channel to be book reviews. Book reviews are not popular in the YouTube algorithm, but I don't care. Like, this channel isn't about blowing up and getting YouTube famous or some stupid delusional thing like that. I really want to be able to talk to all of you about books I enjoy, and I want to build up a backlog of reviews so that when people find my reviews, if they share the same taste as me, I can make their lives a little easier and they can find some great books to read. So check out my other reviews. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.